The Jekyll and Hyde syndrome, the fatal fantasies of Ronald True. On a seemingly ordinary morning in March 1922, Miss Emily Steele arrived at 13A Finborough Road in Fulham, London, for her regular cleaning duties. Little did she know she was about to stumble upon a gruesome crime scene that would shock the nation. The flat belonged to Miss Olive Young, a high-class sex worker whose real name was Gertrude Yates. As Miss Steele entered, she noticed a man's coat and gloves in the sitting room, not an unusual sight given her employer's profession. After starting breakfast in the kitchen, Miss Steele encountered a tall, well-dressed man emerging from the bedroom. He introduced himself as Major True and asked her not to disturb Miss Young, claiming they had been out late. He tipped her generously before departing in a taxi. Alarm bells began ringing when Miss Steele entered the bedroom to find blood-soaked pillows and a kitchen rolling pin hidden under the eiderdown. Drawers had been ransacked and valuable jewelry was missing. With growing dread, she checked the bathroom, and there lay Olive Young's battered body. The 25-year-old sex worker had been brutally bludgeoned, a towel forced down her throat and a cord tightened around her neck. In a shocking display of arrogance or carelessness, the killer had even left his calling card on the sideboard. Mr. Ronald True. Rather than fleeing, True embarked on a bizarre spending spree across London. He bought new clothes, telling the tailor his blood-stained trousers were from a plane crash. He pawned Olive's jewelry and picked up a friend for an aimless drive around the city, ending at a variety theatre where police finally apprehended him. But who was Ronald True, and what led him to commit such a savage crime? Born illegitimate in 1891, True had a privileged upbringing, thanks to his mother's marriage to a wealthy businessman. However, he proved shiftless and unreliable, drifting between failed ventures in New Zealand, Argentina, Canada, and Shanghai. When World War I broke out, True returned to England to join the Royal Flying Corps. Despite his erratic behavior, he somehow passed pilot training, only to be invalided out after crashing multiple aircraft. By war's end, True was a morphine addict spinning grandiose tales about being a fighter ace. True's grip on reality continued to slip in the years that followed. He adopted the title Major and bragged about fictitious aerial victories. He carried a loaded revolver, claiming he needed protection from an imposter using his name to pass bad checks. True's moods swung wildly between charm and rage, amusing some acquaintances while alarming others. "I'll murder someone one of these days," he once told a female friend. "You watch the papers and see if I don't. There'll be a big case about it." True first visited Olive Young's flat in February 1922. She quickly decided the unstable Major wasn't her type, especially after he frightened her with his gun and stole money from her purse. Olive tried to avoid True after that night, but fate intervened on March 5th when she unwittingly let him into her home. The evidence suggests True struck Olive from behind as she drank tea, bludgeoning her with the rolling pin before using a towel and cord to finish the job. His subsequent actions, lingering at the crime scene and openly flaunting stolen goods, pointed to a mind divorced from reality. At his Old Bailey trial, True's defense argued these behaviors proved his insanity. The prosecution countered that True was simply an amoral psychopath who believed he could get away with murder. After careful deliberation, the jury found True guilty, and he was sentenced to death. But True would escape the gallows. The Home Secretary intervened, commuting his sentence to life in Broadmoor Lunatic Asylum. There, the man who had caused such horror lived out his remaining years as one of the institution's most popular patients until his death in 1951. The case of Ronald True highlights the blurred lines between criminality and mental illness. Was he a cold-blooded killer or a man gripped by delusions? The courts ultimately decided True belonged in a hospital rather than on the scaffold. But the debate over his true nature continues to this day. Perhaps the greatest tragedy is that so many who recognized True's instability did nothing to intervene. Had someone taken action sooner, Olive Young might have lived, and True might have received the help he so desperately needed.